Yo, what's going on, guys? This is fucking episode 42. If you're getting my notification, I know some people aren't getting the notifications. Whatever, me and YouTube are gonna have to settle that one out in the ring. Hopefully you guys are doing well. I know. Hopefully you're finding something to do over this quarantine. I'm just here looking at Joe Biden's Twitter because that's how bored I am. You guys, if you know Joe Biden, he's had a little storyline, a little story arc on this podcast. A couple episodes back, me and my friend Dylan talked about a song that he wrote about him a while back that was pretty hilarious. So if we, if it's the time is right and people want to hear it, maybe we'll listen to that today. Kind of, it's tough right now with the coronavirus. A lot of my guests are not being able to make it, and I had a couple of people that were going to be on a Skype call today in place of those guests, but we just couldn't make it happen. But on a lighter note, no pun intended, it is 420. So, Merry Hanukkah to you guys that celebrate the holiday. Hopefully, maybe you're celebrating while you're watching this podcast. We can have some fun. Let me know in the comments, in the live chat, how you guys are celebrating this holiday today. I'm celebrating it by sitting in my basement, reacting to e-news. Now, we're basically today, since we're at a loss of a guest yet again, gonna be just kind of talking some shit, giving some hot takes, letting people know how I'm feeling towards some things. So, what's this? What's up, Landon? What's going on? Playing 2K. That's how Duncan's spending it. That's what I feel like. A lot of people are trapped in playing 2K. 2K is cheap right now too. I heard it's like $20 or something like that. Still not worth it because they're giving you the same game every year, and I'm not trying to get whatever you would call swindled. I guess I'm not trying to get played by fucking 2K. Oh, also, since we're doing this Skype call, so I know that there's some people that watch the show regularly that were asking about wanting to be a guest, and that is 150% a possibility, especially due to the fact that the last four guests I've had have not been able to make it, even on Skype, because some of them it was supposed to be Joe Diamond today. Joe Diamond, if you've seen some of the videos, is actually a magician friend of mine he's really good close-up magic, but it wouldn't make a lot of sense for him to do that over Skype. He could still do a lot of things, but I personally wouldn't want people to cheapen what he does, and I'm sure he would rather be here in person and show you guys what he's all about, show me what he's all about. I've already seen a little bit of it, but just get to see a little bit more of what he can do. I just unplugged my fucking headphones for whatever reason. So the Bulls documentary, first two episodes just came out yesterday. Has anybody seen it? This is Devin. Hi, Logan. Devin says hi, Logan. Devin and Landon talk. I saw your guys' video. I liked it. That was funny stuff. The Bulls documentary came out. I personally haven't gotten around to watching it yet, but I think that there's an interesting story going on with this, that Michael Jordan is actually nervous and worried about how people may view him after this full documentary in its entirety is completely released. And I find that interesting because if you guys know anything about Michael Jordan, you just know that he's not really available. He doesn't do a lot of interviews, maybe once a year, for his birthday when everyone's patting him on the back, or if the Hornets are doing something really good, then he'll come out and do a short interview. But it's never something like he's been doing. He's been on a little bit of a press tour here recently, and a lot of people think it's to kind of, I guess, battle that he might be. People are going to think he's a villain, I guess, apparently by the end of it. But I think that he's wrong. I think that after people watch this documentary, because I've already seen a couple of the clips, I haven't watched the whole thing yet, that it was a different time, and two, none of the things that he was saying or the things that he's worried about were really all that bad. I know there was some quotes of his that were something. If he was chewing out some of his teammates, kind of getting on him in the locker room, and he said that he just wanted those people. He wanted to get the best out of them. Now, in my opinion, is that the best kind of leadership? No, but it doesn't mean that it didn't work, because obviously the Bulls won 6 championships with Michael Jordan, and he won 6 MVPs. So he knows what he's talking about. If he was on my case, I think I'm going to listen. So I hope that he's not. I hope that people don't take it that way. Don't take it that he's a dick because of that. I mean, if you want to say he's a dick because of a lot of other things, I would, not argue with you on certain things. But if you're going to say something because he was mean to teammates, come on. There's a reason people wanted to play with Michael Jordan. If you didn't want to play with Michael Jordan, then I don't know what the hell you were doing. But now that this Jordan documentary has come out, some people have been giving their hot takes on the situation. One of those people is a good friend of mine and has been a guest on the podcast, Joseph Withrow, a.k.a. Joe Witt Gaming. This man thinks that Michael Jordan, had he played, or if he were to play in today's league, would be no better than DeMar DeRozan. That's not true at all. I don't think Joseph has watched much Michael Jordan, or maybe he just chooses to ignore the stats and the accolades that also back Jordan up. But whatever the case is, he is sorely mistaken on that take. But I asked some people, I haven't gotten any responses yet, but I asked some people anonymously to send in what is the worst Instagram trend, like via, like challenges and stuff that has gone on this quarantine that has annoyed you the most. I shouldn't say annoyed, just like which one is the worst one? What's the stupidest challenge you've seen? Because we've seen everything. We've seen everything from people doing push-up challenges. Why am I becoming so? I'm just making myself bigger here. We don't need to look at E-News. We've seen everything from people doing those wall push-up challenges to the 3 beautiful women challenges to the you see a chug, send a chug. What's the worst one you guys have seen? What's the most pointless or worst or most annoying challenge you guys have seen? I want to know what you guys have to say. For me, it's probably this the whole it's like these weird athlete photos where all of them are awful, says Kevin. It's these athlete ones where people will be like, you gotta put a picture of you from whatever your last season, and it's cool when you get to see people that are like still pursuing these athletic dreams of theirs, but I kind of felt bad when I'm seeing people that are like no longer pursuing those in any way, sharing a picture from like 4 years ago of them on like a JV basketball team. There's nothing wrong with playing JV, and there's nothing wrong with not playing basketball anymore. I don't play basketball anymore, or any sport for that matter. But I feel like it's just a little weird just be seeing people post that stuff. All right, we got a little message here. TikTok is the worst thing the most annoying thing someone has seen. TikTok is going hard right now. TikTok is huge. I think it's bad. There's a lot of, if you watch The Bachelor, if you watch any really bad reality TV, almost every reality TV star is now on TikTok because they are bored out of their fucking minds and need something to do. And so they're all making, they're just doing the trendy videos, the trendy dances and whatnot, but it's someone you already kind of know from a reality TV show. And so they're getting a little bit of clout, but it's nothing super creative or super funny. It's just you're seeing a different face do the same thing you've already seen 100 times, which I think if people are going to have problems with TikTok in that sense, then I get that. And that's why I've been kind of slowly getting away from TikTok. TikTok is posting videos of killing dogs. I hope that's not true. I hope that's not real. I made a TikTok where we were driving to a bank, and we actually didn't even drive to a bank. We drove past it, and I showed the sign of the bank but covered the logo, and then in the next frame it was us in ski masks and with fake guns, and that was taken down. So if someone's posting videos of them killing or hurting a dog or animal and that's not getting taken down, then TikTok has some major explaining to do, because that's pretty ridiculous. What else do I got here? I've got some other questions from people. Oh, you know what? I actually wanted to ask you guys, is there anybody you want to see on the podcast? I'm looking to possibly debate somebody. Who is your guest today, James? James is asking. James, I don't have a guest today. That's why I'm just talking some ish, as the title says. We usually have a guest every week, but our guest for today was supposed to be a magician friend of mine who does a lot of trippy stuff. I thought it would have been really fun and really great for 420, but he couldn't make it because of the coronavirus, and we didn't want to try and do his magic over Skype, because that sort of thing wouldn't work. And then we had a couple backup people that just couldn't make it this week, but we've got some guests on the next following weeks. Ty Mulcahy will be on next week, really big into fitness. So we're going to be talking to him about some home workouts and whatnot. And then I've got a couple, it's kind of up for grabs for the week after. We've got a couple different people that it might be. Making Big Al's recipes tonight. Kevin doesn't know Big Al's recipes. For those of you who don't know, Big Al's was a pizza place that my parents used to own. And Kevin actually worked there, but there's no way that he has all of the ingredients to make the proper Big Al's pizza. But speaking of James's question with asking about who the guest is today, with this whole coronavirus thing, it is really it has really screwed up a lot of things for us and a lot of things for myself with trying to figure out who is going to be the guest, who's going to be on the next week. And I was like a month, we were basically like a month and a half ahead always, and or at least the last like month or two, and then this whole thing happened, and it's just been like cancellation after cancellation after cancellation. And so while I absolutely understand people not wanting to be here in person, we are trying to, your guest should be your dad. Yeah, we'd have to probably film that one. We'd probably have to film that one beforehand, before it would go live, because I'd probably have to film it at his place, and I don't think he has the kind of internet that we pay for here to do this live stream. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I want to know what kind of guest you guys want to see. Devin's already, ahead of the curve, asking me, you might tell me that my guest should be my dad. We'll throw him, maybe we'll do one with him in the next week or so. I want to know who else you guys would like to see on the podcast. I want to debate somebody. I want to see somebody that maybe disagrees with us, disagrees with some things that I've said, or somebody who's got some interesting hot takes. I want somebody who's got some personality, maybe one that I would clash with, because I want to give you guys some entertainment, man. I want to have some fun. Kevin says El Mayo, Big Mike. Yeah, it'll be good to see my dad on the big screen. I'm sure he would enjoy it. Make sure you guys are drinking water too. Got the big jug there. Let's see. What else? Oh, I want to talk about a couple of things. I've been noticing I'm in a podcasting Facebook group, as cringy as that does sound. I joined it because I thought, you'd be able to grow your podcast, like share your podcast with other people. Also maybe get some people to become guests on your podcast and whatnot. So I joined this group. I joined the group about 2 months ago, maybe 3 now. And after I joined the group, one of the admins makes a post saying, make sure if anybody from this group messages you and asks you to be on their podcast, you let us know immediately, and we will ban them from the group. And I'm like, all right, that's kind of stupid, because what would be the point of me being in this group? Because, well, actually, I can tell you guys the point, because I can pull up some stuff right now from the group, is basically just a bunch of stories of people saying how excited they are to maybe someday soon start their podcast, or they just did their first episode and they're hoping they're going to do a second one, or asking for advice and stuff. It very, some of it's helpful, some of it is just kind of annoying, but it just makes it's very counterproductive in the sense that you can't even get guests for your podcast. It's like if someone has a podcast about I don't people have like murder mystery podcasts. That sounds kind of interesting to me. We do a guest driven podcast, which having no guests today, which kind of fucking sucks. And now I got to talk your guys' ear off. That's an interesting guest to me. That's someone that we can bring into our world and expose to a different audience, and they bring their audience, and everybody benefits from that. But having a group like that where you can't even talk about it is kind of stupid. Did you do an interview with Nick? No, I have not done an interview with Nick. I don't know if you guys know Nick, but I don't know if long-form podcasting is Nick's favorite thing to do. But he was on an episode of Detox where we did the entire Banana Beats. So if that answers your question, I did not interview Nick. I've seen a lot of people talking about people been talking about who's the best rapper, what kind of groups of rappers are the best, is in like this generation of rappers versus the last generation and the generation before that. And I'm seeing a lot of disrespect to my man Drake, dude. I'm seeing a lot of people, and Drake was one of our highlights a couple weeks ago. We were talking about how he's still number one. People are not too happy with Tuesday Slide. What do you guys think of Tuesday Slide? Like, what I actually did a live stream the other week, where I was reviewing people's music, and actually at the beginning of said live stream, we were listening to Tuesday Slide, and I think the highest rating it got out of 10 was like a 5. People were really mad about this song. Some people are mad. Some people are just bored with it. I could understand if you don't think it was that great, but Tuesday Slide was bad. See, if you say it's bad, that's where I'd have to disagree with you, Kevin, typing as Jenna. I don't think it's bad. I think it's an all right song. I think if any other artist dropped it, you would think it was really, really dope. But Drake dropped it, and I think we all know he can do better, and that's why it's not as interesting as it maybe should be. Darren needs chat moderators. How is Duncan Delaney? What the hell is going on? Chat moderators. No, I'm not big enough to get chat moderators, dude. We've got like 8 people hanging out with us. But Delaney Brown, man, she passed 25,000 subscribers the other day. So that's pretty insane. I mean, that's crazy. And it's crazy for us is that we had a while back, Tim and Logan crashed one of her TikTok lives, and it was so funny. I think I probably can't pull it up. I'll try and pull it up real quick while I'm explaining the story. But basically, what had happened was she was on TikTok live, and we were watching it, and let's just say she was getting a lot of donations from people, and Tim and Logan and I thought that it would be kind of funny to just pull up and mess with her, say hi, because Delaney's a friend of the show. She's been on the show a few times. She's mentioned the possibility of maybe working together on some other stuff. Have not heard much back on that yet, but still could happen. But she's a friend of ours. We know her. She lives fairly close to us, and so they thought, while she's live, why not pull up and see what's happening? So they went to go pull up on her, and I stayed on the TikTok live. If I can find the video, I screen recorded it, and her reaction was pretty great. But yeah, she basically freaks out. She's like asking her dad, like her dad comes into her room and is like, "There's 2 guys at the door," and she's, what? I don't, and it got pretty funny. Damn, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it. Yeah, we don't. I'm gonna have to find it after the show and I'll post it or something. But very funny stuff. Very funny stuff. We got to see more trolling stuff like that. I think Jenna should be on the show. Um, we definitely should have Jenna on the show. Are you Devin or are you Landon? Devin. I agree, Aunt McKenna. Well, let's get Jenna on the show then, dude. If Jenna wants to be on the show, why don't... Does she have a Skype? Make a free Skype account right now. I'll Skype her. We'll have her on the show. Easy. Done. Money. Money in the bag. Jenna does not agree. Well, that's not cool. You just cockblocked everybody on stream that wanted to see Jenna and I go toe-to-toe. Skype in right now, Jenna. Come on. Duncan wants it. The people want it. Let's do it. 420 special. Yeah, come on. Yeah, dude, I feel like I was gonna do this as a 420 special, but without Joe Diamond, I feel like it would be disingenuous for me to do it, being someone who does not partake in those activities. Felt like it would be kind of extremely clickbaity to not be doing it. We can't have all these accounts with several potential people talking. It's confusing. Sorry guys, I'm awkward and it would not be entertaining. Jenna, it would be entertaining. You could just yell at Kevin for the remaining 40 minutes and it would be great. But either way, yeah, I saw that, speaking of yelling at significant others, I saw, or I think McKenna showed me a thing that said divorce rates have, like, skyrocketed, I think. Let me look that up real quick. Let's see. I believe divorce is going up right now. Divorce rates. Coronavirus comes up right away. Coronavirus is making couples sick of each other. Lawyers see divorces surge because of, apparently due to coronavirus. Isn't that sad? That's got to be sad. It's the New York Post. I don't know what's real though. I don't know if it's real, but I would say that that's pretty sad. Considering that people cannot be around the person that they married for a month, like that's not good. That's not a good look. If you're not happy with the person you're with, then maybe you just shouldn't have gotten married. But I guess you figure it out real quick when you're stuck together for over a month. Since we're in the process of making dinner, there would be a lot of yelling. Oh, yelling's perfect. Jenna still loves me. All right, Kevin and Jenna are now, they're fighting in my comment section. Dudes, what the... Now you guys are... I don't want you guys to divorce or whatever. This divorce... Susan Bracker, is this the chick telling me that divorce's many problems are also straining marriages? One of the main stresses that causes divorces, more than infidelity, is monetary stress. Oh, that makes sense. So it's because people don't have money. Or at least that sounds like what they're insinuating. Which is a little bit better than people just not liking each other. But I'm sure, I don't know. I feel like, I guess a lot of people must marry for money. Oh, Final Fantasy, not that one, but Final Fantasy 7 did come out. The remake, and I heard it was really good. Strictly Engaged, yeah. When are Kevin and Jenna getting married? When is too young to get married? That's my other question, I guess. When are you too young to get married? All right, let's see. Oh, did you guys see Joe Biden's press, what was it, his live stream? Which you know is not at all set up by him. He probably has no idea what's going on. Joe Biden live stream. This was bad. And Bernie...
Stories of heroism of nurses and healthcare workers and doctors and first responders, of grocery store workers and truck drivers and so many others on the front lines of this crisis, putting their own lives in danger for the rest of us. If we didn't know it before, we know it now. They are the backbone of this nation. Our immediate priority is to get through this public health,
I'm not trying to watch
raise their families, pay their taxes.
So this is what I wanted to kind of talk about is a lot of people are upset that Bernie Sanders is endorsing Joe Biden, mainly because Joe Biden is not really standing for the same types of things that Bernie is. or was. And I don't know, man. I think that's definitely interesting. I saw some people tweeting some very interesting things. I wish I could pull it. I don't check Twitter enough. That's my problem. I was trying. That was one of my goals for the quarantine, and I've let that slide. I was trying to tweet once a day. Vote sooner. Wait, what is going on? What's with this sooner shit? You should do Shadow Joey. Oh, strictly engaged. Strictly engaged. 25. 20 is when you should get married. 19. What the fuck, dude? I'm never getting married, dude. Just kidding. I know McKenna's watching. Nope. Votes sooner. All right, I gotta stop reading comments. We gotta get me. Let's just do me and Joe Biden here for a minute here. So, Joe Biden here is he's. I don't know that he's my guy. I don't know what's gonna happen here. I don't even know if there should be a fucking election this year because of the fact that we've got the coronavirus shit that apparently might come back in the fall. We've got Joe Biden, who is asleep. The people don't want a live podcast from my wedding. We don't need a live podcast from the wedding. It'll just be a vlog. It'll be a weekend vlog. But Joe Biden does not stand for the things that fuck you guys in the comments, man. I gotta stop looking at it. I'll vote sooner if you Skype in. Yeah, you guys should Skype in. But Joe Biden does not stand for what Bernie Sanders stood for, which was, free. He wanted Medicare for all. He wanted free college tuition, and he was very much more socialist. Joe Biden called my friend the N-word. I know, I was there. I'm not for Joe Biden. I'm not endorsing Joe Biden. I'm not saying don't vote for Joe Biden, but I'm just saying I'm not 100% endorsing him. But I definitely understand people's anger and whatnot, but I don't know that splitting a party does anything. And this is kind of what I wanted to get to, is that I don't understand. And I've been going crazy in my house watching a lot of political debate and a lot of things of that nature. And I don't understand how we still only have two parties. I really don't get it, because now this is what we're stuck with. The last election we were stuck with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, and now we are stuck with Donald Trump and Joe Biden. So I don't know that it could get any worse than that. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous because there's a lot of people that even when it comes to Bernie Sanders, there's a lot of people that agree with some things that he says, and a lot of things that I disagree with a lot of other things he says. So it's ridiculous that you are left to be, you're stuck either on one side or the other, when really the truth is usually somewhere in the middle. Duncan supports Trump. Duncan, I would have to hear it from Duncan's mouth to believe that, but I'm not going to force Duncan to have to come out as a Trumper on the podcast. We can talk in private if he doesn't want to disclose that information. But I've been seeing a lot of crazy shit, and again, this is kind of where I was going with this. People are protesting the stay-at-home advisories because they think that staying at home is so bad, and that the economy is never going to recover, and that people need to run their businesses. And I just want to talk about that for a second. So first off, small businesses, I got you. I get it, dude. The whole argument is that these people have worked their entire lives for these businesses, and they're going to lose them in a matter of a couple of months because we're not allowed to do anything. And I totally understand that. That is why I think that and they're working on it right now. I believe they're trying to pass another thing for even more small business loans. But the thing is your business worth more than people's lives? And if it is to you, that's another discussion. But to me, I don't think that it is, and I also think that it's more so a power move for people to be protesting in states that have in only the states that have Democratic governors, at least primarily. They're protesting in a lot of the states, but primarily Democratic governors, which is, you know, um, this is it's bad. It's stupid, and it's stupid if you're just trying to do it to undermine another party, and it's stupid by both parties to be playing politics with all this shit. Really, I don't think that you should be fucking worried. Like, we're not asking you. Your country's not drafting you into the war. Your country is not asking you to do anything except for stay at home. And if we had done it with the first time and taken it 100% seriously, we probably wouldn't have to continually keep stretching it out because we're half-assing it. If you just do all your homework right away, you don't have to do homework. And I'm someone who doesn't do my homework right away. But you get what I'm saying. If you get your shit done right away, then you can go outside and play. And that's basically what this comes down to, is we don't want to put in the work, which is fucking stay home. But we want to be able to go about our days without spreading the virus. I just think that, have you been watching any crazy movies lately? No, I have not, Kevin. No, I have not. But I think it's very counterintuitive for people to be protesting in large groups of people when you should not be around people or within 6 feet of everybody. I actually saw too that the governor was asked about people protesting, and he said, because people were scared that they're gonna be like fined and arrested and whatnot or whatever, because that's kind of the stay-at-home order right now, and obviously that is he said that he didn't care if people do that. He said it's their right to protest, as long as he just hopes that they will stay 6 feet away from each other and practice social distancing while doing so, which I think is pretty funny. Tropic Thunder. You watched Tropic Thunder? How about the blackface? Have you been watching any crazy? Watch the Last Castle? I have heard of that, but I've never seen it. I've seen Tropic Thunder. Tropic Thunder is a great movie. Robert Downey Jr. already talked about himself doing the blackface thing on Joe Rogan, and it's been talked about. Actually, it was talked about like a few months back, when he was doing that press run for what was his movie that just flopped? It was that kids movie. It was Dr. Dolittle. That's what it was, Dr. Dolittle. And people were bringing this up, if this hurts his reputation, and that it's gross that he blackfaced. And he even said too, like, he doesn't 100% disagree if someone wants to feel that way. But if you really look at it in the context of what was going on in that film, he was playing a self-absorbed actor that would do anything for a part, even if it meant doing something like that. That's disgusting. And so, like, if you don't think that makes it right, that's fine. I get your point of view, but it's a comedy movie. He was making fun of somebody that would do that, because his character, I believe, got like a surgery, underwent some sort of surgery to do that and portray that character in the film that they thought they were filming, that movie's hilarious. Do you like Simple Jack? Yeah, all the spoof movies that they did, like making fun of Forrest Gump and whatnot, all those things were really, really funny. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched a whole lot of movies. I'm trying to get around. I don't have like the higher tier of Hulu, so I can't watch the new Bulls documentary yet. I have to wait. I just have the regular Hulu account, so I think it comes out like a day or two after. So I'll check today. I'll hook you up, bro. I'd appreciate it, man. I'd appreciate the hookup. I want to watch that really bad. But I know, Simple Jack was fire. That was. Some movies that I was thinking about doing something about what movies you should watch this quarantine, but I don't know that I have the time to make a list like that, because then I'd probably have to revisit some movies myself. what are you guys watching? More comedy movies, more horror movies? I'm probably if I do sit down to watch something, it'll be a comedy. I think we watched The Room the other day, and talked about it on the last podcast a little bit. I kind of hated it. Or it wasn't The Room. It was The Disaster Artist, the movie kind of parody. Well, the movie that was about the making of The Room. And I thought I've seen it before, and I actually like the movie a lot. But McKenna doesn't like it because she didn't think it was that funny, and that's fair, I guess. I disagree, but where was I here? I guess we should probably get Joe Biden's face off the screen. We can check out the news real quick. Oh, I don't need the divorce rates shit. I just wanted regular Google. Just give me the news, man. What do you guys think about Trump saying that his ratings are higher than the Bachelorette and Bachelor finale? I think that's hilarious, especially during this whole thing. Joey just messaged me, exposed him. He's at work right now. He was gonna maybe call into the show. Still managing to look hella cute. Dragon Ball Z started it recently and it is fire. Dragon Ball Z is fire. One of my favorite shows of all time. It's so weird with anime, with Dragon Ball Z especially, that it's all come back the way that it has. Because when I was growing up, people were not very receptive of anime and were definitely not open to even giving it a chance. And you had to pretend that you didn't like anime and that you had no idea what the scary anime kids in school were talking about, even though you knew damn well exactly what they were talking about. That was me. I was, not really wanting to talk about those sort of things. And now anime is fucking huge, and Dragon Ball Z is fucking cosplayed at the mall. So that's kind of been flipped on its head, which is interesting. It's also interesting is I've seen a lot of people have still been going to parks to play like basketball and stuff, like with their friends and whatnot, and I don't know that that's the smartest of ideas. If you want to go shoot hoops by yourself, you should do that. Absolutely. Definitely healthy. But if you want to shoot hoops with other people and or play full basketball, full 5-on-5 basketball when you are sweating on other grown men in the post, I don't think that that's the best course of action right now in a time like this. You remind me of the one with Toby and Robert during the opening scene at Kev. And what's your prediction on how sports will play out this year? Well, I think the NFL is it's interesting. We were talking about this yesterday. So the NFL is probably still going to happen. They'll probably just test everybody, and the TV companies make too much money, and that's obviously a lot later in the year. But like the NFL, if the NFL had to start today, they could, and I mean even the same with the NBA because they make as much money as they do over TV and streaming and all these other things. But what's crazy to think is all these college sports, like D1 sports. I don't know. I actually have a kind of an interesting story about lower division sports, but D1 sports, especially football, bring in so much money to the entire school. And I didn't know this, I knew this, but I didn't think about it until yesterday when I was talking about it with a friend of mine. And these schools, these programs bring in so much money for the rest of the school that they are basically funding all of these other sports that take place. And they make much more money. It's like closer, it's between 70 and 80 something percent of the money that they make off those sports is off hard ticket sales, people in the stadiums, as opposed to the NFL, which is probably close, but the other way around with merchandise and stuff like that. So going to be really interesting to see the kind of pressure that's going to be put on these universities to make sure that their football programs still start up on time. which hopefully they will. Hopefully everything will be okay. I don't know has the NBA said anything? I'm gonna look that up real quick. Has the NBA said if they're just ending the season or are they still trying to do the season? Are they just gonna skip right to the playoffs? What is the NBA's plan? How are they planning to save season? The NBA suspended operations in March 11th due to the coronavirus. They are now considering a restart of the season in Las Vegas with a special tournament schedule leading into the NBA Finals. Whoa. People need sports. Yeah, they need something to get excited about. Yeah, Mark Cuban's a smart guy. He knows what's going on. Okay, yeah. I don't know, Adam, we're not going to rush it. That's the thing. I saw, we talked about it a while back on the podcast before everything had been shut down when they were talking about maybe doing, games without fans in the seats. And I know that LeBron had spoken out on it, saying that he's not going to play if there weren't people in the stands because he plays for the people. But I personally disagreed with that, not maliciously, because I do respect LeBron's opinion, and he, if that's what he plays for, then that's fine. But if people really, if you're playing for the people are stuck at home, people want to watch you play, so maybe just play in front of nobody. It's the same thing, just maybe a little bit less intense in the moment. But yeah, I hope that they could do something like that. A tournament, that sounds very interesting. I don't know that this article says exactly how the tournament will work, but that sounds really interesting. I know that when Adam Silver became the commissioner, he had talked about there was talks of maybe switching the playoffs in general into a 1 through 16 seeded tournament as opposed to the West and East, because people think that the discrepancies in talent, as the West is a lot more stacked with talent versus the East, people are kind of getting fed up with that. But I hope they don't do something like that. The NBA's solid history of not playing Summer League. Okay, so they're okay with skipping Summer League. Sucks for the fucking guys that play in Summer League. Locals need love. Okay, so they don't know yet, but they're gonna do a tournament. Cool. Hopefully they figure something out. There's a YouTuber that I follow, that a guy in Banana Beats, Big Ty, put me onto. I'll pull up one of his things right here. D Friga. This guy right here, Devontae Friga. He's a pretty good hooper. He played at is Mount Union, some D3 school. I don't even know where it is. But he's a really good hooper, and dear COVID-19, I haven't seen a lot of his recent videos, but I was following him pretty regularly, and he actually had a really sad story where his team had won the first two games of their tournament, and they also, D1, 2, and 3 all do the NCAA tournament. Just obviously D2 and D3 are going to get a lot less press coverage, and their March Madness isn't really March Madness. It starts much earlier. And so his team was, I believe, they won the first two games, and they were really excited to play one of their rivals in, the Sweet 16 then at that point, I think. The season got canceled due to coronavirus. He was very emotional, and it kind of seeing it from that perspective, especially being someone who played both high school and college basketball, that's pretty sad to see, honestly. Kevin subscribes to him. He just built his own court. It was really cool. Really sad though, dude, that these people are. And he's a senior, so that was his last season, and it's just over like that. And I know a lot of high school athletes are dealing with that right now. And for a lot of people that aren't going on to the next level, there isn't, a next year. That really sucks. Like, I get it. If you're a senior and you're not really in any sports or anything like that, any extracurriculars, and I could still understand being bummed, because you don't get to finish out your senior year, you don't get to go to prom if that's something you wanted to do, all sad things, but especially something where you put a lot of time into, dedicate a lot of your life, and even for someone that's just going to be done at the end of high school, a lot of kids, a lot of people still put a lot of time into a sport. Um, and you do so that you can have that closure for your senior year, and it's still emotional, and it's when it's over and whatever, but everybody deserves to get that. So I saw a lot of petitions that was like let these kids play and all this stuff. I don't know how I feel about it, because I don't know that it would be super responsible, but if everybody could get tested, what the fuck am I doing? If everybody could get tested, then in an ideal world, they would let some of these kids play. It really sucks. I actually saw a thing too that this is like one of the least rain we've had in a spring here, at least where I live, and all of the baseball players are very pissed off that this is the fields are actually good this year and they can't even play. So that really fucking sucks. Will there be a 2020 NBA champion? Hopefully, because it only takes what do we got? Darren should be in the NBA. Maybe. Yeah, Kevin's talking about D-free ability. So yeah, so this guy's season got canceled, right? That's where I was going. He actually built his own court because he can't go play at any courts. He lives in Florida, and or that's where he's from. I don't think that's where Mount Union is, but so he lives in Florida. So he moved back home, and he paid for it, but his dad owns like a construction company or something, and they made a basketball court, full court, outdoor court in like 2 or 3 days. Really cool videos. Definitely should check those out if you're interested in the basketball stuff. I thought thoughts on these graduations being canceled. Okay. I don't really care about the graduations being canceled. That might sound mean at first, but for me, I didn't really want to go to the ceremony. I would have been cool with or I don't know. I don't need to walk across the stage, I should say. If they would have got everybody together and been like, yo, you graduated, take some pictures with your favorite teachers, your friends that you're not really that close with because this is the only time you're going to see them. I would be cool with that, but they make you sit there for however fucking long it is, and then we don't even go to that. I didn't even go to that big of a school, but schools that are bigger and you got to wait for fucking all these people to cross the stage, like that's just not fun. So if that makes seniors feel any better, hopefully you don't have to sit in the sweaty gymnasium with a lot of people that you're not going to see ever again until your high school reunion. So if that makes you feel any better, I do feel it sucks that you can't have that experience, I guess, because then you don't get to hate it like everybody else does. But you're dodging a little bit of a bullet, I'd say. Kids these days are soft. What year was it where most kids got drafted out of high school for nom? Oh, the kids that peaked in high school are sad, LMAO. Read any good books lately? I can't read, dude. I don't know how to read. Are you kidding me? I can barely do this, barely host a podcast. Yeah, but that sucks, though. It does suck. It's not the biggest deal in the world, and I know it definitely probably feels like that if you're a senior in high school. The same way that, I'm bitching about my guests not being able to make it to this. So it's all about perspective. Wherever you are, it's the biggest reason. My name's Darren, and I never learned how to read. You're true. You're right. That's the truth right there. There was something else I wanted to touch on with the whole graduation thing. I saw somebody doing something for Wilmot that I read the books and then McKenna reads the books and then tells me what happens. So that counts. I read that article no, I didn't. I read like 3 words out of that article for you guys. So I mean that counts as reading, right? I want to post some. It sucks fucking so much because we were about to start doing some basketball vlogs, because basketball was a big part of my life and I still like to hit the court. And we are actually about to start doing some things. So that's why I wanted to bring this guy up, because he's somebody who I really like the way he goes about it. And it sucks that I can't go do that because of coronavirus. Coronavirus is shitting on everything. But again, it's not the biggest time in the world. Story time with Darren. Tune in tomorrow at 6. Yeah, maybe we'll do some ASMR, and I'll just read a book to you guys with some crispy audio. I don't know. We will read Green Eggs and Ham. I can read that. That's about where my levels are at. Darren should read us a bedtime story. I've got some good bedtime. If you guys want me to read a bedtime story, I'll do that. I don't know what the copyright issues are on that. Like, what are the rules with that? Because obviously people pay money for audiobooks. So I'm sure if I just take somebody's book and were to read it, that would not be okay. But yeah, I'll read you guys a bedtime story this week. We'll set something up. I've got a couple of really fun videos that we're filming this week that I'm excited for. I haven't been excited for a video in a while because, other than the podcast, because I haven't filmed any videos in a while because we can't really do it. So really excited for these ones that are coming out. I think you guys will like them. I know that shit has been kind of weird, so with guests and whatnot, if you guys know any guests that want to be on it, on the podcast and want to talk shit, or somebody that doesn't necessarily love Detox or myself, that would be fun. That would be fun guest to have. I would love to hear someone with opposing views, or maybe some seniors. Maybe we'll get some seniors on to talk about graduation and whatnot. Or something like that. Have some fun with that. I'm sure that'll be some good debate. Well, Kevin, we're almost to the hour. We're 50 minutes in, and people are probably bored of hearing me talk. So you didn't call in. He never listens to me about the books, though. You didn't call in, so I'm disappointed. But we'll set something up soon. I'm thinking we're gonna do a fun detox where we have all the fans on. We're gonna do like a Zoom call. So I think that's going to do it for today, guys. I don't want to bore everybody to sleep with just me talking. Let's see. Maybe next week we'll do no. Next week I've got Ty on. The week after that, maybe we'll do a detox with the fans, or maybe, I don't know, coming up. We're almost to a fucking year, so I'm trying to do some cool stuff because I didn't want every fucking episode to be just me because of how I have it planned out for episode 52. But either way, thank you to our patrons. You guys make the show possible. Thank you to everybody who was hanging out in the chat. You guys make it fun every week. And, enjoy your 420. And thank you, D-Bags. Stay salty.